I'm going to be live today with another fellow entrepreneur. His name is Jeong. He's from Hong Kong, and he's been recommended to me by another friend of mine, Jennifer Kushal. Joseph is launching a program at MIT called the Future Hack for Children for 13 to 18-year-olders. And in this program, I want to learn more on what this program is all about and what needs to be done, who is it for, extra, stuff like that. As you know, in the future, the jobs are going to be not the same as they are, and we all need to be prepared and the best at 12 or 10 even to be an entrepreneur or to learn to be an entrepreneur. So we'll ask Joseph what's he doing. Hi, Joseph. How are you? You made it.
Hi, how are you? Thank you for having me on your Facebook Live.
Thank you. I'm so happy that you finally made it. Most of the people are like, ah! So
this is my first Facebook Live, actually. So
there you go.
I
exponential
not used
growth.
to using it.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
connect with the world instantly.
Yes. Tell me a little bit about yourself and then your program, please.
Sure. I've been involved in finance for a very long time. So I have been studying finance since I was 13 years old. I actually have been a trader on Wall Street, working at Deutsche Bank and UBS and Credit Suisse for over 20 years. I own two investment firms on Wall Street as well, and was a partner in both of them. And we were fortunate enough to sell one of the firms a few years ago, and that was one of my dreams when I was 16 years old, to actually one day own an investment firm and on Wall Street, and I did, and we sold the firm a few years ago, and I decided what a great time to go into education and teach the youth all some of the things and some of the ways that I've learned in the past, and really go all into education. And over the last 3 years, I've taken some fantastic programs that I can tell you about, and also founded two edtech companies, including this Future Hack, which is a program for teenagers and for college students, held at MIT every year.
Okay, so tell us more about the Future Hack. Who is this for? As you said, it's for teenagers and college students. How long is it for, and who should attend and who shouldn't attend?
Yeah, so this year we have our teenage program, which is from 13 to 18 years old, and it's for teenagers from all around the world. And last year we had about just under 60 students from 11 different countries last year. This year we're expecting more. We have a lot more applicants this year, and so we're expecting more students from more countries this year. The whole point is to have a very diverse student population, so that you can meet people from around the world and really get that global perspective on things that you're trying to work on. So, and the whole program is centered around solving real world problems. So, we actually go use the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, and we try to look at, we have basically three main modules. So first, we really look at the self-discovery part. So in order for you to really get to know what problems that you want to solve, you really need to look within yourself to see who you are, what your talents are, what your passions are, what are you really passionate about, and what what do you really want to solve? Because there's endless amount of problems out there to solve. It's really comes down to what your passions are and what your talents are, and who your community is, and that's how that's how you know which problems to tackle first. So we go through self-discovery, and we really ask each other a lot of questions. We really try to find out who we are, and then we tie that in with some technology education. So we look at all the different technologies that are moving forward, right? So whatever solutions you have, most likely you would have to put in the latest technology in order for that solution to be viable going forward. So we talk about the different technologies like AI, 3D printing, robotics, nanotechnologies, synthetic biology. All of these things are technologies of the future, and that's the tools that they're going to use to be able to basically combine them with their talents and their passions in order to make some type of a solution. And once they come up with an innovative solution, then we actually teach them how to commercialize it, right? So Professor Boalet, who is the head of the entrepreneurship program at MIT, gave us a very good formula. So MIT likes to put formulas to everything, right? So he says entrepreneurship is innovation times commercialization, and he says it's really so if you have an innovation, you're not an entrepreneur until you actually are able to commercialize it. And the reason it's times and not plus is because if you have one or the other, you're still not an entrepreneur. You have to have both. And so once you have the innovative solution, then we go through the MIT entrepreneurship steps in order to really increase the chances of you succeeding in commercializing that idea. That's our overall framework. But we have a lot of fun working with all the technologies. We have, this is a teenage program. We have a talent show to showcase that everybody can use their singing and dancing and talents, as well as their art and creative talents as well, and combine that with the things that we learn in technology and coding and everything else. So yeah, we have a lot of fun there. We have pizza parties and and ice cream parties and everything. So it's a very good time for all the students, and it's a 2-week intensive program. And at the end of it, the students don't want to leave. That's the biggest complaint I get.
Yeah, you make amazing friends and you don't really want to leave them, right?
That's right.
So, and the program, how much would it cost for somebody to be enrolled in this program?
The program costs $3,900, and that includes the tuition, the boarding, and the whole program for the 2 weeks. It doesn't include the transportation there because everybody has different transportation costs. And what we try to do, we are a social enterprise. So what we try to do is, we charge full price for most of the schools, but for developing schools in developing countries, and specifically children with needy family backgrounds, we do try to provide at least a partial scholarship. And it's a very selective process, so they have to qualify first. Obviously, they have to go through the interview process, the application process first, and then if they qualify already, then we go through and if they want to apply for the scholarship, then that's we go through that process again. Now, the one thing that I want everybody to understand is that if your family has the ability to pay for this, please don't ask for a scholarship, because there are many people out there that barely, their families barely make this amount for the whole year, and those are the students that we give the scholarships to. So there are some very needy people who are extremely smart that we had last year, who are very deserving, and quite frankly, their families barely make $5,000-$10,000 a year, and those are the ones that we really want to save our scholarships for. So we do have scholarships. I just want to remind everybody that, hey, these scholarships are really for the people who actually really need it. Some people like to just apply for the scholarships, but I just want to remind everybody that is something that's quite important to remember.
Now, you take the name of MIT with your program. So what's your association with MIT? What kind of
Yes.
or certification would these kids get?
Sure. I went through the MIT Entrepreneurship for Teachers program. It is taught by Professor Olet, who is the head of the department at MIT, and this is one of the innovations that MIT is always on the brink of innovation in everything, including education. So most professors would only want to keep their curriculum very closely held, right? And they don't want to share that outside of their class. But Professor Olet says, look, my goal is, my dream of the future is that there are millions and millions of entrepreneurs everywhere. And how can I achieve my goal if I'm only teaching a few hundred students a year? So they, MIT was the first one to open up every one of its classes online for people to watch for free. So if anybody out there, any of the young people out there who are watching this right now, if you want to learn what every student at MIT is learning, you don't even have to apply. You can simply go on MIT OpenCourseWare and watch any class that you want to watch that's being held at MIT. Now, even Stanford and Harvard and other great schools are doing the same thing now. So, this is something that all the great schools are opening up and giving their curriculum away, because they want more exposure. They want the smart people who are actually self-motivated to learn this knowledge to apply to their schools and be even smarter when they come in. So basically, I went through that program a few years ago, and I've actually started this Future Hack with other people who have also gone through this program, and all of the so MIT Bootcamp is or MITx is actually our knowledge partner, and all the speakers that come are either MIT, and we have a few Harvard professors and entrepreneurs that come in and speak as well. So all of the speakers are very successful entrepreneurs from MIT or Harvard. They come in and they tell us their stories. But the surprising part is that they don't come in and boast about their successes. All of them, without me saying anything, all of them actually come in and talk about their failures and how they failed, and it's with those stories that the students really understand how to succeed. You know, it's succeeding through failures, right? You don't just have all these successes without many times more failures.
So the partnership you have is with the MIT X, and the certification which you would be giving would be with the Future Hack, not from MIT, I believe.
Yes, we the certification is from Future Hack, and and you know, but it does say that we are in partnership, and that the curriculum and the knowledge is shared from MIT.
Okay, brilliant.
Yeah.
So
it's for just one other thing is it's all about the flipped classroom. So it's not just about the 2 weeks that we're there. We actually, once you're accepted, we give you a list of books and videos to watch. So it's really about learning, and before you come into the class, it's all about the flipped classroom, right? So you learn everything on your own, and you come in, and within the 2 weeks, we can have all of that time to work on exercises, work on relationships, work on teams, and build a project. So it's really it's really much more than just 2 weeks of learning. So it's a lot of learning before, and endless, you know, and basically as much learning as you want afterwards as well.
okay. I run a similar program for students, for sixth graders plus. And my takeaway is that you leave with a business, and we help you run it for a certain amount of time, or simply guide you basically. Or if you fail, that's even better, because now you learn, and now you can put it in your CV that you actually failed the business and you're going to start another one. So what's your takeaway? What after 2 weeks, the kids go away with 60 great new friends, a great mentor like yourself, a certification. What else are they taking home besides the experience? Like,
Well, we actually keep everybody together in groups, so people can continue to help each other and connect with each other after the program. And so, you know, even last year, a lot of the students continued to stay in touch, especially applying for college. And so what our program does is really helps, it augments their college applications. You know, showing that they've taken quite a different course than your normal academic camps, and basically they can actually show. So one of the things that some of the schools are starting to require, or unofficially or officially require, is portfolios, and this is a perfect program for that, because what we do is the activities that they do, they come out with a video presentation about their project. They come out with a PowerPoint or a Canva presentation. They come out with fantastic public speaking skills that they never knew they had. So this year we actually have a professional TEDx speaker, Jeong. So the takeaways is that one, you have a fantastic community that you can connect with. And many of the students which are actually starting to apply for college or just got into a great university, and you can ask them their experience. Two, you're connected to some very experienced speakers and mentors from MIT, from Harvard, from great places. And three is that you have a lot of things in a portfolio that you would need, such as a video, a great presentation, most likely a prototype that you've built that we will actually teach you how to do. And some of the students from last year loved the program so much that they actually wrote an article about it. And I said, look, why don't you put that in your portfolio and start up a Medium and a LinkedIn account and publish it online? So that's what they did. And that was their first online article that they published, and essentially published other articles. So they really feel empowered afterwards, because going into the program, they didn't think they can do all of this in 2 weeks, and in fact, they can do this and a lot more in 2 weeks. So yeah.
All right, brilliant program, Joseph. Thank you so much for doing this. I'm glad that Jennifer recommended me. I will hope that my children will be able to make it themselves. It sounds like a wonderful program. Are the parents going to be, where are they going to stay? Are they staying in, are you renting some apartments, or are you staying at campus, or?
Yeah, so we actually stay on the Tufts campus, which is, Tufts University is about 10 minutes away, maybe 20 minutes away from MIT. And the reason is the Tufts University dorms and campus is an enclosed campus, and it has a really nice college feel to it. The MIT campus is actually a very open campus. It doesn't have the enclosure and the kind of the safety that we wanted. So so everybody stays in the same dorm, including me. So I'm keeping close watch on everybody. There's no parents there, so you know, I'm the myself and some and our team, we keep a very close eye on everybody, and everybody has a great time and a safe time as well. And the parents are welcome. Some of the parents come on the last day to watch the final presentations, and the final presentations are done in front of real investors, real VCs, real entrepreneurs from our MIT community. So and we do it in a big auditorium at MIT. So it's the real thing. Everything that we do is the real thing. We try to and if the students don't do a good job, we remind them, hey, this is your thing. This is not this is not for a grade. We are not giving you a grade. If you think that you're happy with it, then I guess you don't really think that that you can really do good work, and then that really gets them going, and they're very competitive, and in the last 1 or 2 days they really compete to get a great job done, and the whole team comes together, and and there's a lot of it's not all a smooth process. It's not meant to be. It's meant to be real world, and but at the end of it, they feel a massive sense of accomplishment, and and they feel empowered, which is what we really want them to do, and they really realize that they can learn anything on their own, and that's kind of what we really wanted to teach them. That was my personal experience. I started learning about trading and finance on my own when I was 13 years old, and back in the 80s. So, and that was before I had a computer or the internet. And so, because of my experience in learning, I really believe. There's a great quote from Joy Ito of MIT Media Labs, and he says, "Education is what others do to you. Learning is what you do to yourself." And that really, hit me. And I said, that's exactly what happened to me. Is I really just took it on and said, hey, I don't really, I'm not going to wait till I'm 20 years old and wait for some school to accept me and teach me some of this, which they actually don't really teach you anyways. I'm just going to start learning it myself. And I think that's the attitude that I want the students to come away with at the end of it.
And this is how many years have you been doing this?
This is the second year that we've been doing this. This is even the MIT X program is a very new program. It was an experimental program that they did, that they started a few years ago that turned out to be very successful. And I wanted to, have that experience for the teenagers, because right around the teenage years, that's when your learning curve is the fastest, and you really, if you open up their minds at that age, then there's really no holding them back.
Brilliant program, brilliant everything. I'm so happy you're doing this. I'm so happy for the kids who are going to learn from this. Any last words?
No, I just welcome your community, your kids as well, to please apply at futurehack.co/apply. And, I would love to have people in your community apply. Please let me know how I can help, yourself and your community as well. Thank you, for, I really thank Jennifer for introducing us, and I'm glad you have a great community there that and I'm happy to help them.
Thank you. My personal goal is to help 1 million people become an entrepreneur. So that's
Great.
Something for which I have written 2 small booklets. One is the how-to steps, 13 steps of becoming an entrepreneur without money. It was designed for people from 6th grade plus. Based on my own life experience using technology and my own, I never went to college or university to study. So I did over 150 different ventures, and all that crux out of that is in my book. Lit, actually, it's not even a book, it's really small. And it's all about doing. It's all about pushing people to do and take small little actions which will help them. Small things take a lot of time. So I'll send you a copy of it. It's really, really tiny. And if you think we can partner on that and do more boot camps around the world for those using this method, the idea is to leave the kid with a business. Even when he's in school, he has a business card of his own business, which he feels proud to, and everybody takes him seriously, because the thing is, he doesn't take himself seriously and everybody else doesn't take himself seriously. When I was young, I was selling computers, Commodore 64 games. I was 14, and people used to come to my home and say, "Can you please call your dad? We want to buy some game." I was like, "What are you looking for?" He said, "Rehan." I was like, "I'm Rehan." He said, No, it cannot be you. It has to be your dad. So all those things, I wanted these people to experience at an early age, so that they make a thick skin. And as an entrepreneur, or as anyone actually, to be successful in anything in your life, you have to be very thick skin and know yourself. And that's what I try to do.
Yes. And we we are very aligned in terms of our missions, and so I'm really happy to meet you. And the other thing is, like, the stuff that you and I are teaching, they don't necessarily need to be entrepreneurs and open up their own business. This can be, all of these skills are life skills. It just teaches you to be a successful human being. It teaches you how to relate to other people, and it teaches you really how to work within a big group or small group. So even if you're working for Google, working for IBM, working for Apple, these skills come in very, very handy, trust me. So I've worked at very large banks, and I've worked for my own startups. So all of these skills that I learned since I was 12, 13 years old is very, very handy for anywhere that you go. So don't just think of this as an entrepreneurship program, because it's really about learning life skills. And that's right. And basically, preparing yourself for the future, because everything is changing so fast in the future that we have to prepare ourselves.
The most unpredictable future human history will ever create.
That's right. Well said. But thank you very much. This is fantastic, and I'm glad so many people tuned in to watch this.
Thank you, Joseph. Take care of yourself.
Okay.
I'll
Take care. Thank you.
ask my kids to keep bothering you.
Okay.
All right.
Fantastic.
Take care.
Okay. Take
Bye.
care. Bye bye.